Time is 7:03. We have a full quorum for tonight. On our agenda, we have the minutes from January 6th, which we approved without a full quorum. So we need to redo that. And then we also have the minutes of February 17th. So we'll do the January 6th minutes first. Yeah, I'll work down to that. These we It's just for the January 6th, it was myself, Katie, Lee, Judy, and Judy. They can vote on that.
Yeah, and at the last meeting when they approved them, only Judy, Katie, and Lee don't make a full quorum because unfortunately Steve wasn't on the planning board at the time and Dwayne was absent on the 6th.
All right, so I'll hear a motion to approve the January 6th meeting
So
minutes.
moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? January, Judy, yes or no?
I wasn't. Was I there?
Okay, yes you were.
Yeah, you were.
You were there, according to the paper.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
then
All right,
sorry.
so all in favor? All right, January 6th, we're moving down to exciting stuff, folks, so hold on. February 17th, I was not there. Katie called the meeting to order.
Not.
So Judy, you and I cannot vote on that.
Right.
And Steve can't.
And Steve can't. Well, actually, Steve was a member there.
Yeah,
He
you
was
will
here.
remember that
Yeah.
Steve can vote on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get you caught up, Steve.
All right, so I have a motion to accept February 17th.
So moved.
Judy, a second. I have Dwayne seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Approved with 2 abstains. All right, now the fun part. Public hearing is, I'm assuming you people are here for the public hearing? All right. Maine state statute citations are being amended in the zoning ordinance, site plan review ordinance, and land subdivision regulations of the planning board. Just for, we'll hear from the public, for a reminder for the planning board, this is for information only. We'll hear what the public says and then we'll close this and move on to the rest of the meeting. So whoever wants to speak first?
Okay, why don't you make it a point that we're just aligning these with state guidelines?
Yes, thank you. Yes, just as background for those folks out here on TV, what we're doing is we're revising the citations within the ordinances so that they meet the current state law citations where they need to. Many of the citations in the current ordinance we're citing older state laws that are no longer on the books, and so we wanted to make sure that all of our ordinances were up to date with all the citations. This errata sheet that you have in front of you was also reviewed and created. I had provided an earlier version reviewed and done by Natalie Burns, our attorney. So all of these citations are accurate, correct, and ready to go. There will be no changing of any wording in the ordinance. It is only changing the citations.
Does anybody like a copy of this?
They're right
You
over
need that
the
one?
table.
Oh, they're on the table?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
there should be 5 or 6 copies of them right over there.
We're gonna do bylaws again.
Hey, DJ,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
We can go now. I don't think we should.
So like you can see, all basically is just changing numbers to match the new numbers.
Right, on the 2 furthest columns to the right is the old statute and new statute. Many of them were referencing, or actually in this case, all of them were referencing MRSA Title 30. MRSA Title 30 was actually deleted by the state legislature in 1998. And the current citations are MRSA Title 30-A. And because of that, there's also a change of subsections. And so that's what we're doing, is making the ordinances legal.
Is there any questions from the public?
So it's only references
Do you-
to the numbers?
Yes, do you mind just saying your name and,
Yeah, Patricia Cadle, I live on East Shore Road.
okay.
The main reason I'm here is to understand if there are any substantive changes, that we would need to know about, those of us that live on the lake, if it's gonna impact anything that we might wanna do in the future.
Regarding this particular issue, no. This is only citing recent state law that we have to cite through our ordinance at various sections. I think probably what you're going to wait in here is the presentation that Glenn, the code enforcement officer, will give on the shoreline zoning regulations.
Okay.
Is there any other questions or comments from the public for the zoning updates? All right, hearing no more comments on that, I'll close the public hearing for Maine State Statutes. Our next item is Glenn is talking about the shoreline zoning ordinance draft and shoreline zoning map. Just a reminder to the public that that closed the public hearing, so we will not be taking comments on this.
Mr. Chairman, were you going to want to take action on this so that it can be moved on to the select board for their
Oh, I'm sorry.
consideration?
Okay. Actually, we'll close the public hearing.
Yes,
And,
you can do that.
And under new business, I'll make a motion that we accept the Maine State statute citation updates be amended as proposed and we forward it to the selectmen for their approval.
I second that.
All right, I have a motion to second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay. Item 4, shoreline zoning ordinance draft. This was proposed by Glenn Charette, code enforcement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, board members. For the record, my name is Glenn Charette, code enforcement officer for the town of Waterboro. I'm not going to stand at this, because I get too much spread out. You all have copies of the draft. The first thing I want to say is one of those drafts can't be any less strict than the state's DEP Chapter 1000, and the proposed ordinance fits that criteria. I think I'll have Dave throw the map up on the screen, and I'll kind of get you familiar with that first. And you can kind of be looking at the map as we're going through. We're not going to go through this page by page. I've obviously highlighted what has changed. Well, that's warming up. The Saco River corridor has regulations around Lake Arrowhead. And this map reflects that territory. I mean, the planning board will never have to look at this. This map is for the use of basically Tammy and I. But it's just another set of regulations that a lot of people in that neck of the woods has to go by.
And Glenn, that's regulated by the Saco River Corridor Commission.
Correct, and not by DEP.
Correct. And that is a commission that was established by the state legislature. It's the only commission of its kind in the state.
The draft shoreline map is on the screen. Keep in mind that I've been working with DEP in both of these projects, and they have the final say. In fact, when the planning board and the select board are done, the plan goes to DEP for final approval. These drafts have gone to DEP, Mike Morris in particular. He's kicked them back to me a couple times for alterations. So the draft that's in front of you, the preliminary draft, has been approved by Mike Morris. All right, here we go. That map is not as clear as I was hoping, but the colors, I think Dave, can you, there you go, that's a little bit sharper. Thank you, Dave. let's see, the green is resource protection. You can kind of make out the green shades around the lake. I mean, shoreline covers any body of water, and Waterboro has a few, but, you know, whatever's governed around Ospey Pond obviously is gonna be governed around any pond in town. The green segments are resource protection. Sebago Tech is doing the maps, and they're gonna correct that so the green borders are a little bit more uniform around the lake. You know, some areas are a little bit more green than others. That resource protection should be about the same boundary around all the lake.
Does it basically do just the shorefront lots?
Not just.
Not necessarily. Resource protection kind of is typically 75 feet from the high water mark. And not necessarily all around the lake. It can be, as you can see that's, that area right there has got resource protection. That area's at resource protection. That area's at resource protection.
Glenn, so have they expanded these resource protection?
They have not, actually, they've reduced some.
Okay.
Yeah, they've reduced some. Let's see. So we'll just leave that up and we can refer to it as we go. There are 2 districts that have been
Can I
eliminated.
ask a question?
Absolutely.
I read something in here saying that the zones go on lot lines, follow lot lines. So if you're
Not
to,
in Shoreland.
okay,
Yeah.
I can't find it now because I had a question.
Yeah, the shoreline zone it's kind of a strange animal in the sense that its state says that the shoreline zone is 250 feet.
Yeah.
Doesn't follow property lines, it's 250 feet from the high water mark.
Okay.
It's only
That's what I
regulated either 100 feet or 75 feet, depending on, as Glenn pointed out, the resource protection areas and other areas. So it's 250 feet wide, but it's only regulated no more than the first 100 feet
Okay.
from the high water mark.
So I thought I read something in here about it following lot lines
No,
rather
No.
than, okay,
No.
fine.
Lydia, could you turn the lights back on, please?
you want them back on?
Yeah, thank you. Okay. The new districts are, well, they're not new. The districts that have been eliminated would be limited commercial and stream protection. Those districts are no longer valid districts of the shoreline. Stream protection has been eliminated by DEP for a shoreline restricted zone. Limited commercial has also been restricted, or has been eliminated from Waterboro shoreline
Do they
zone.
does that just fall into general development now? Or?
Yeah. So what is left is limited residential, general development, and resource protection.
So Glenn, they've become a little less restrictive than what,
In the districts, correct.
Now, my house, what would that be? That back house? Where there's wetland out back there?
I'd have to look at a map.
It's right there.
I can't pick that up. It takes a little bit more than that. In what I'm reciting tonight, you know, there's a lot more specifics to what I'm gonna give you tonight, and I didn't give you all the specifics because we don't have the time. So the new land use tables in your draft reflects the district changes.
Yeah.
Okay, the big one, non-conforming structures. The board is very familiar with those.
Yeah, I just saw that.
You can't increase nonconformity. That's a rule that's been around forever, and that has not changed. The setbacks, the 30% rule is still in place, but they also have a square foot limit now. If the structure is entirely within 25 feet of the high water mark, you can have a 30% expansion, but only up to 800 square feet. If the structure is 75 feet from the water mark, you can have a 30% expansion, but you're only allowed up to 1,000 square feet. If you're 100 feet from the water mark, 30% expansion, but only up to 1,500 square feet. So the difference here is they've limited the square foot.
yeah, they've done away with the volume rule.
Correct.
And it's also height, right?
What about
The
height?
height's
The height
17.
is restricted,
Yeah.
and I didn't give you that because the code office is gonna look at that. It moves from,
There's something about 120 feet.
No,
no,
17 feet.
17
it's
feet.
15 feet if you're within 25 feet of the water, and it's 25 feet
Feet.
total. You can't be any higher than
Yeah.
that.
Oh, the total,
25 feet in height
In
and
height.
a total square footage addition of 1,500 square.
Correct.
so they're really, Maine's really looking at that the houses on the water blocking the views of people in
Yep.
backlots.
Yep, that they are, and DP's admitted that. They're trying to keep everybody happy, and it's usually tough in this situation. And there are height limitations. So, there are some criteria in here that I'm not gonna get into tonight because, my office will get into them during permit stages, or when the applicant comes to you, then I typically give you guys an addendum of what's gonna be required. So the criteria will be a little more explained at that time. But these are non-conforming structures. So the last one we did, Connolly Point, if you folks remember that. None of this would have helped him.
No,
Right.
no.
Yeah, the 20% rule, the 20%
20%
lot
rule's still
coverage,
in
that's
there, yeah.
still in play. And I think he was hoping that the change would help him, but it hasn't really.
Okay.
Relocation in the chapter, that's about the same. That was on page 6, if you guys want to roll on to page 6. That's about the same. They've added a little more strict criteria for revegetation. And that's a pet peeve of mine. And that's an area where the planning board has been lax and the code officer has been lax. I'll put the blame where it belongs. Revegetation is required in any development on shoreline, you have to revegetate. Whatever you tear out, you have to revegetate, either by grass, by plantings, by bushes, by trees. So this relocation is more strict in that guideline. And I should have said this at the get-go, probably 85 or 90% of the draft is DEP's requirements. And the rest of the percentage, I've tweaked myself and added language.
Does it all have to be native or just part of
Yeah.
it?
It
native?
has to be native. It
Grass
has to
is
be
not native.
Yeah. Pardon me?
Grass is not native, is it?
Sure is.
Is it?
Yeah. Some breeds of it.
So, I mean, this is just to be real, not to drag it out, but like trees, they only have to be 3 feet tall when they're installed. Is there, I mean, are they trees that match what's on this lot of, right? Or, do we get a bunch of people that have a bunch of dwarf crab trees and they call that good? Is that allowed?
If it's native to the state, yeah, and it has to have a circumference at 4.5 feet of 3 inches.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes on to say here, if more than 5 trees, no one species of trees
Right.
That's a
shall
great
make
thing.
up more than 50%
Right.
of what you're replanting. But doesn't say anything about
Yeah.
what type of trees.
So again, I guess I have to stress that you guys probably won't be getting into the really guts and glory of this. Maybe, maybe not.
How does that become enforced, Glenn? When someone's doing some disturbance and relocation or?
Yeah.
or-
If it's a new house, the certificate of occupancy is not issued until the revegetation is complete.
Okay,
Even if you take down a hazardous tree, and do I have that on the list? Yes,
yeah,
I do.
that's in there somewhere.
You have to plant a tree for every tree you take down.
I'm glad we got through
In
that.
fact, I'm looking at 2 of them this week, and I've already warned them that the town's gonna be looking at you replacing the trees. You're allowed to take them down, but you have to plant a new one for each one you take down. Piers, docks, and wharfs.
Yes, I saw that.
Page 18?
Page 18.
I'm getting my doc tomorrow.
This is pretty simple. 6 feet wide is the maximum.
What page is that?
18.
6 feet wide.
We have a 30-foot limit.
Excuse me, Glenn,
Yes,
do you want to pass any copies out to the people behind you so they could follow along?
anybody interested?
I read this whole thing, it's from Canal, I know it's in there.
It's right here.
One dock, huh?
Soccer would just be like Arrowhead.
Yeah, 6 foot wide is the maximum width, and 30 foot is a cumulative. That means you can go out 20 feet and add 2 5-foot fingers. It's a cumulative. That means whatever docks you have, whatever pieces of docks you have, you can't have more than 30 feet of it.
Does that go for commercial
Yes.
also?
Yep. And we were having this conversation about what needs a permit and what doesn't. A structure, a dock is a structure. Any development in shoreland, any structure development needs a permit according to DEP. So in theory, every new dock needs a building permit to be constructed and laid out. That's what's required. I'm not sure if that's what we'll do. Permanent piers or docks are not permitted without planning board approval. This isn't anything new. A temporary dock is anything that's in the water less than 7 months. A permanent dock is anything in the water greater than 7 months. You can only do that with planning board approval.
Permanent.
Permanent.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Like those things they have in Rangeley.
Yeah, I don't think there's any in Waterboro.
No,
that are
I don't
permanent.
think so.
You-
You can't build any new ones, but you can maintain what you already have.
Yep, okay.
Or at least that was the
Campgrounds
old one, I don't
were
know.
added. Campgrounds were not included in the original, in the old ordinance, they are now. In the campground shoreland guidelines follow the campground ordinance that you folks have been working on. We deleted the land use category of commercial and industrial uses. That's no longer in the land use table, because I don't think we want car washes or body shops or anything of the laundromats around our lakes. So that is no longer in the land use table. And I'm not an English teacher, so you're liable to see some grammar mistakes. I mean, Mike has gone through this, Lee J has gone through it, Tammy's gone through it.
Spell check.
Spell check's gone through it.
Yeah, so there could be some, roads and driveways in shoreland are quite a bit more strict than they were. And that's on page 22 if you guys want to go to that. You can't hot top a driveway in shoreland.
You cannot?
You cannot. And they are all over the place.
They are everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
Are you allowed
reason-
the permeable pavement?
Pardon me?
Are you allowed to use permeable
No,
pavement?
they're not.
Really?
Typically gravel. The reason for that is because the water rolls so fast, surface drainage rolls so fast.
But gravel's not permeable.
It isn't, but it rolls a little bit slower than it would on a hot top surface.
You know, on the town paved West Shore Road,
No, they got permeable pavement.
everybody
That's what we
paved
use.
their driveway because all the water washed all the gravel away.
Yeah, I know that's an issue.
Yeah, because we use permeable, and that's preferred.
Well, it's preferred in in the patio setting, but not in
No,
driveway setting.
the permeable asphalt.
Oh, permeable asphalt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the preferred.
Yeah, DEP hasn't mentioned anything about that.
Yeah, DEP will not recognize that
No, they won't.
as a non-hard
All they
surface.
need to go is one demonstration, and they'll accept it.
Yeah, no, DEP, they've been that route and they've actually backed away from that route.
Really?
Yeah, and that includes, for example, I don't want to get off the track, but when someone wants to do a fairly large development that meets, for example, 3 acres of impervious, and they say, well, we'd like to do pavers, and they're open and the grass grows through, even those are not recognized by DEP
Wow.
as pervious for the purpose of not counting it for impervious surface. So yeah, they've done a 180 on their position.
When does this go into effect? now, or?
Chapter 1000 has been in effect
Yeah.
since February this year.
So they're gonna make people,
Well, they haven't given a time limit to the towns to come into compliance. I'm kind of being an advocate of, let's just get it done. So that's where we're at, you know, why postpone it?
Yeah, we're talking about coming into compliance with the paperwork, but what about existing properties?
they're not gonna make people
Yes,
rip
so-
out their
Oh, no.
driveways.
No, we're not going
So I think that's
down.
what they.
No,
okay,
we're not
right.
going down that
If
road.
you're already there, you're already getting
Yeah.
done. All right.
Yeah.
It's moving forward.
Although, just a little statement behind what you just said. I asked Mike Morris this. Mike Morris he's great at what he does. So when is a violation a violation? A violation happens as soon as I see it, even if it happened 10 years ago. So if I see a hot top driveway that, you know, is lakes and lakes of water going down the lake, that's now a violation. Now you have to rip it up. Not that I would ever do that, but a violation is a violation when it's
So
found by
there's
the
no
code
such thing as a
enforcement officer.
Quite a
grandfather.
few.
Correct. Not when it comes to a violation.
But you're talking, in this case, you're talking a violation because it's a stream amount of water going down the driveway.
Yeah, it would, you
Not
know, it
normal,
would have to be
not
extreme, causing an abundance of erosion into the resource.
Hey, look at that, slopes of driveway at 20%.
Yeah, interesting, huh?
Gee, out of 300 pages, you picked that out?
Yep.
We have now a sign criteria in Shoreland. That was on page 24. And by the way, it doesn't really match our ordinance, but there it is.
Strong yellow.
Mineral exploration in Shoreland is a little bit more strict. In that, we have had a paragraph in our current Shoreland. The new one is quite a bit more strict.
Also, septic is 100 feet now.
Yep. Erosion sedimentation control by law. A contractor working in Shoreland needs to be certified in erosion control. Tammy and I enforce that. We ask for a certification number. If they don't have it, they don't work it. Homeowners are exempt from that rule. Public Works is exempt from that rule. Bridge and culvert sizing has been added. Hazardous trees, that's always a question Tammy and I get almost 2 times a week.
Where are you at? Where are you going?
Let me get the page number, hold
Page
on.
26.
Unfortunately, I didn't mark the pages.
It's like
We got-
page 36 at the bottom.
Page 36.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, I can recite it by heart.
All right, go ahead.
Hazardous trees, anything that has been damaged by the weather,
39,
or what is it?
bottom of 39.
39, thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
By the weather or disease. I'm requiring an arborist to determine that. If an arborist, you know, a statement from an arborist to determine that. And then I do a site visit. I've got to look at 2 today, one's taking down 12 trees, one's taking down 9 trees. That's substantial in Shoreland. Again, more than likely, if I get a statement from an arborist saying 9 trees of disease that have to come down, then 9 trees will come down. But that property owner has to replace one for one. And he has to give me a plan of what he's gonna do for species and I don't just come up with these rules because I like rules. You know, there's a criteria in the chapter of what has to be. And that's what I go by.
Hey Glenn, one of the comments on here is that you may, CEOs may require more than a 1-for-1.
We can if they.
Is there a hard?
If it affects the canopy, you know, this particular guy that wants to take down 14 trees, that's a lot. If all he has is 14 trees on the lot, and now he's scalping it, then I'm gonna require probably 2 or 3 to 1, which is permissible.
Okay. I just worried about it. It's
Why?
like it's opened up to may require. That isn't.
I
There's
know-
no
I
like
know.
chart that says.
No, there isn't.
Why? Why would you require more than one? It's
No
about
canopy.
14, replaces 14.
Because the canopy is gone. The canopy around the lake is critical.
That's the ultimate protection.
That is the ultimate protection. So if you're taking down 14 trees and all of a sudden you don't have a canopy in a 20,000 square foot area.
It's open for erosion.
Exactly.
But baby trees aren't going to make a canopy very fast.
No, they're not, but
It's
it's
a
something.
start.
It's a start. Revegetation criteria has been added. It's the one thing we're lacking in the old ordinance was an administrative chapter. Let's see. That's page 45. 45 gives direction to the code officer on what applications are required, how we should process them, time limits. And what's interesting is the Board of Appeals. The Board of Appeals, anybody can have an administrative appeal to the code officer, and they appeal it to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Not to the Planning Board, but to the Zoning Board
Does
of
it say
Appeals.
zoning board here?
Not to the selectmen?
Not to the selectmen, they can only go to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Good.
That's what it should be, yeah.
Yep, that's the way it should be.
Because it's
Used to
an
be able to go to the
administrative appeal.
Right,
Lady with her
Yep.
checkbook.
so it talks about the permits required, the application, procedure for administering permits. It's just a bunch of stuff.
Does the municipality have to get culvert permits?
No.
Okay.
And again, this is the shoreline requirements.
Correct. Yep. I've added a lot of definitions. Basal area, which is the distance from 4.5 feet from the ground, the circumference of the stem of the tree. Added the definition of the basement, because in shoreline, you're allowed to add 3 feet to an existing basement foundation. So the basement is defined. Canopy is defined. Canopy is what is the shade created by trees on a lot. A dock is defined, a pier is defined, mooring is defined, a wharf is defined. Driveway is defined, footprint has this tree, normal high water line, temporary and permanent. Those are all new definitions. So as you folks breeze through this in the next few days, or the next week, please give me a call if you see some concerns. No, give me a call. Katie?
Manure, 200 feet, it's not 100, it's 200 feet from any body water.
Where'd you read that?
The Maine state for the agricultural. If you look at it, it's 200 feet, or you have to have a building covered to keep it in. I can pull it up and copy it for you,
Okay.
but you can.
What page is that on?
26.
Was there anything else right off quick that anybody saw?
The driveway,
Yep.
it's got it here for serving 2 single-family dwellings or 1 two-family dwelling.
Mm-hmm.
What about a single-family home?
That definition kind of plays into the 911 regulations. Yeah, that's a good question though. Okay.
My gut would tell me that it's probably serving up to 2 single-family dwellings.
Yeah.
I think if you add that language.
What
in
page
there-
is that, Dwayne?
54.
You don't know this by heart?
54.
No, I should. The 911 regulations require numbers and a sign on a driveway with 2 or more residences. That's where that comes into play. It's still a driveway with a single-family home,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, does the board have any-
And just as a side, again, I mean, I think Glenn has said it, but those definitions only pertain to the shoreland zone. They don't affect the regular zoning portion of the zoning ordinance. This, at this time, this is a standalone ordinance and is not part of the zoning ordinance, so.
Okay.
Does the board have any other questions? All right, thanks, Glenn.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Nice job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, just so everybody knows, on March 16th, we'll be holding a public hearing on this and on campgrounds. So mark your calendars, it'll be the next exciting night. Huh? Yeah, that was the shoreline.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry.
No.
You need to set the
I
date for
think
the
we need to
shoreline.
have-
Oh, I'm gonna set the date for shoreline, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we.
Then I prefer to do just campgrounds on the 16th.
I was gonna say, what are you
Campgrounds on the 16th.
Yes, please.
that
I will keep it that way.
it.
And then we can go with the April 6th for the
Are you ready by then, Glenn?
shoreline.
Yeah, Sebago Tech just has minor changes on the map. It's really, yeah, ours will be ready.
Okay. I think based on some of our last things, we need to have a picture show available.
For shoreline,
Yeah,
Please.
like what?
just a PowerPoint that's got.
What was the
Like what
present?
though?
I'll go
What
over
would
it.
show?
I like that. I think we need to have a good map like that. You know, a blow up of the lake so you can demonstrate that it doesn't do a whole lot. It's just the 75 feet.
Remember, Glenn, remember the presentation with the selectmen where it actually had where the existing was and then it had the new one? Because that way it shows people where we shrunk it, where it got shrunk down. But there was 2 or 3 other spots off the lake where it actually grew. And I think that's probably gonna be the biggest concern for the community, is if anybody owns private property out that way.
Yeah.
So if you had existing line, like in red.
Yeah, that
and
would be tough to do.
Find out, what was the presentation that somebody gave to the selectmen? I was there that day.
I don't know, but you know, to develop a map to show those two things. I mean, Sebago Tech doesn't work for nothing.
Yeah, but somebody was here and already did that.
I'll see if I can find it. We might have a copy of that.
Yeah, I
Did
think
we-
that was a
did-
FEMA map.
Somebody,
When
about
they
was
a
gave
month
us
or
the
floodplain.
revisions
Yeah.
on
Oh, that was
FEMA.
floodplain.
I don't know if
Okay.
they gave it to us or if they projected
Yeah.
it. That's
That was floodplain, I'm sorry.
I think we just have to have a handout that says, you know, basically a summary of what you just presented tonight.
Okay. Yeah,
Just based
Yep.
on some recent.
yeah, okay. I can do that.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
That concludes, like I said, we're, on March 16th, we'll be having our public hearing for the campgrounds. This will conclude our normal planning board meeting for the night. We do have a workshop following this, dealing with commercial design standards and a PowerPoint review.
Yes, yes.
So, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Judy
I was
seconds.
gonna give
Any
that to
discussion? All those in favor? This concludes the